A warning before you listen.
What you are about to hear is not meant for children, nor for the faint of heart. This is an unfiltered retelling of ancient myths, told as they were born, raw, violent, unsoftened. Expect scenes of brutality, curses that linger, betrayals that reshape fate, and a hunger for power that shows no mercy. These myths were never meant to lull children to sleep. They were forged in blood, shadow, and fire. So ask yourself, are you ready to hear them as they were first told? Sources and references can be found in the episode description.
Chapter 1. After the Storm, a Body Returns Alone. From the epic, The Age of Silence, between Tyranny and Thunder. That night was soaked in silence, and Rhea returned. But there was no triumph in her steps, not even the trace of a scar that might speak of a battle. She walked like widows walk in the funerals of their husbands, except this time she was the widow of fate itself. Her body lived, but her soul, she'd left it behind, buried in the cave. It was only Rhea's body that made its way back. She wore the same gown she had worn since giving birth, a gown stained with milk never offered, sweat never wiped away, and breath that still clung to her throat since the first time Zeus had screamed into the world. She entered the palace, the stairs unchanged, the pillars untouched, the guards who never met her eyes still motionless. But she was no longer who she had been, not in heart, not in chest, not in womb. Everything inside her had fractured.
She walked toward her chamber without lifting her gaze, as if terrified it might catch his, or that he might read something in her eyes, or inhale the scent of absence from her breath. Cronus sat on his throne. His eyes didn't blink, his breath didn't falter. His heart untroubled, unshaken, or so she thought. He glanced at her from afar, a woman returned from labor, but with no child, no cries, no incense to welcome life. He asked nothing. He didn't rise. He showed no interest. After all, he had swallowed 5 before. What was one more? But she was not the same. She was a woman who carried life into a cave and returned with a grave in her belly. One night long after, Rhea climbed alone to the balcony, barefoot, her hair undone, milk dripping from her breast, uninvited, her eyes fixed on nothing. She looked up at the sky and remembered that look, the look Zeus gave her, the moment their eyes met before she let him go.
It wasn't the gaze of an infant. It was a flash, a promise, or a plea. Her heart trembled, not because she was certain, but because she was afraid. Did he swallow the stone? Is the boy still alive? Did I fail? Did I lie to myself? But she dared not ask anyone, not even herself, for in the presence of Cronus, even doubt was treason. And while the whole palace slept, she alone stayed awake. She alone knew her body had returned, but her spirit was still in the cave. The months dragged on, the palace a drawn-out hush, as if the earth beneath it breathed in silence, as if the night inside needed no stars to finish its darkness. Rhea remained, a body that walked, a body that ate, a body that slept, but no soul within. She stood before mirrors and saw a figure she no longer recognized. Her chest still held fullness, but the milk had turned bitter. Her thighs still held the warmth of life, but life no longer dwelled there. Everything inside her was waiting, but not for the one who ruled the palace. This chapter of the epic has come to an end, but remember,
What you've just heard is not a record of facts, but the echo of a myth, a story born from the imagination of the ancients, etched into the long memory of humankind. If this tale stirred something in you, if it opened a door to reflection or wonder, don't forget to support the channel and share the journey with those you love. And in the comments, tell us, which moment in this chapter struck you the most and why? We'll meet again in the next chapter of this audio odyssey through time. Until then, farewell.